Ellie White-Stevens, marketing guru and the creative director at Dirt1X. This is Good Gala, how to supercharge business giving. 8 years ago, I launched my own marketing agency, Dirt1X. Prior to the launch, I'd been helping a tea room do their branding, and in lieu of payment, they'd given me a tea for 10 people. Instead of taking my extended family to dinner, I launched a fundraiser for my local domestic violence shelter called Oh Christmas Tea. That first year, I was so proud because we raised a whole $1,000. Hey, I mean, you've got to start somewhere. But then I got smart and I got strategic. As I grew my business, I grew my contacts, I created a better event brand for the next year. Year by year, I rolled out better materials, more sponsorships. Each year that we've done Oh Christmas Tea, we've increased our net donation for domestic violence survivors. This last year, we raised $30,000. In all our years, we've raised over $113,000. So last year, my cousin asked me what I would do if I had $1 billion. I told him that I would do the same kind of marketing, only that I would offer it to nonprofits. So this video is the perfect opportunity for me to share with you some of the tips I've learned in how to put on a successful gala, how to build the business relationships needed to succeed sustainably. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the key ways we created the Oh Christmas Tea event and how I've rolled this training out to other nonprofits in my local Atlanta market. I'm going to share with you some of my secrets to better event branding, how to best create an invitation with impact, how to create sponsorship levels that will have businesses excited to work with you. And I'm going to conclude with building better business relationships to maximize your donation dollars. We've got limited time together, so I'm going to do my best to cover this information and give you value. But when we're through, I want to encourage you to visit dirt1x.com/nonprofit. You'll get an infographic on how the sales cycle works and get access to a free consultation with me on how to hire my agency to supercharge your own nonprofit. You can also sign up for my newsletter that way, where I'll share useful and helpful tips about marketing throughout the year. So first, let's talk a little bit about branding. What works in branding is consistency. Consistency builds credibility. That means that a brand needs to have its logo and its logo type in the same proportion, colors, and orientation every single time. We want to do this with our nonprofit logo, and we also want to do this with our event logo. So here are some examples of what we did for Oh Christmas Tea's branding. You can see our invitation. Each year, the theme changed, but the brand for the event stays the same. Note the colors stay the same. Note the logo stays the same. Note we even have kind of a holiday feel going on. It's not red and green traditional, it's blue, but it works for Oh Christmas Tea. You'll see here that we also did a rewritable certificate to give to our sponsors. This certificate has all the variable information, including dates and who's sponsoring, as editable by anyone who's got Adobe Acrobat. And that's Acrobat Reader, mind you, so that we're not having to recreate the wheel every year. Now this is key. I want to just take a brief moment to tell you about certificates. You're going to want to have that certificate when you give it to your sponsors at your event in a frame. And here's why. They're going to put that on the wall for you. They're going to put it on the wall and they're going to have it there year by year and year after year. And there your certificate and your brand shows up on that business wall and shows that they are a consistent donor. So you'll notice that we've got this brand again and it's consistent, and the color scheme, it's consistent. And so you can see here we created a name tag and we created letterhead, and those are all consistent branding. And each year of Oh Christmas Tea, we've added one more branded piece. 4 years ago, we started doing things like branded gift bags for our sponsors to put swag in for attendees. About 3 years ago, we bought a table runner for our registration table. Last year, we added a red carpet backdrop with our logo and our biggest sponsor's logo. So why do we do it this way? It's about creating high impact. That's a wow effect for a brand, and it's about creating memorability. You know, the big guys, the big dogs, the McDonald's of this world, they put their logo on their napkin. It's a throwaway piece. They put it on a napkin. But when you're creating your event, you can borrow from the big boys and create memorability too. People who participate in Oh Christmas Tea, they come back year after year for the event, and that's what you want to build sustainability. That's how we did it for the nonprofit fundraiser that I chair, Oh Christmas Tea. And really that's just one example. I also helped the Real Life Center. They helped the poor and struggling with job development, financial assistance, and a food pantry develop their Harvest for Hope Gala last year. They came to me having never done it before, and they didn't really know where to begin. They had a name, and they also had a volunteer graphic artist do their logo. I provided them with consultation on how to do it. They didn't know how to set up sponsorship levels, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that later. But my team created their invitation and all of the same kind of pieces that we'd done for Oh Christmas Tea. And you can look at those here. Following my template and with some seriously good volunteers and relationship builders, they made $40,000 in their very first year. Another organization that helps foster families, Bloom, they had the problem that they were using an old fundraiser in the school system, and it was losing traction. Fewer people were participating every year. They were making less and less money. I worked with their marketing person, and in 1 hour, we came up with PB and Jammies, where children collect donations in empty peanut butter jars so that they can wear their pajamas to school. Now their fundraiser is growing again, and it's going to net them more money than in previous years. A clever name can be a real asset because clever is memorable. Just be aware as well that some names can be limiting. For example, I can only hold Oh Christmas Tea at a certain time of year. We currently hold our event on Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. When we started, we were holding Oh Christmas Tea on a Thursday. But the Thursday we had chosen was the same night as another large nonprofit's fundraiser. So we moved ours. Do consider what else is going on in the community when you're booking out your gala. So let's just suppose you've got your clever name, you've got your event brand, you've got your date on the calendar. How can you make the most effective invitation? My favorite way to do a nonprofit invite is to print it as a 5x7 matte finish postcard. Looks like an invite, but it's really inexpensive to print. On the front, we'll want to include things that are benefits to the attendees. An open bar, because drunk people spend more money. Is there a silent auction? Is there a live auction? How about a cakewalk? Are you going to have a band or a DJ? A champagne reception? Live jazz guitar? Carolers? A violinist? Are you serving heavy hors d'oeuvres or dinner? Just pick 3 to 5 of your best entertainment features and mention them. You can see here the invite we did for the Black Tie Blackjack event. So on that invite, be sure to include a ticket price. Some of the galas I assist with offer a slightly better price for 2 tickets. Some will also offer a table price on the front. And this is a key piece that you're going to want to do. Put a direct URL for the event. For example, many years ago, I bought the URL ohchristmastea.org. It leads directly to the site of the organization that I partner with, right to the page for our event. You need to make it as simple as possible for people to get where they can to buy tickets. And be sure that tickets can be bought online. If you don't currently have online giving on your nonprofit site, in general, this should be a top priority for you. PayPal is really pretty simple to integrate. If you're stuck for your event and it's coming up, you can also utilize the services of Eventbrite to book tickets to your event. And you can do that same thing where you buy the URL and have it permanently redirect right to Eventbrite. If you can briefly summarize the mission of your organization in one line on the front or back of the invite, this is a really good idea. Because while you think everyone surely must know what I do, not everyone does. They don't know what you're doing in the world, and if they want to buy into it, it could take them a little. You want to give them that. So in talking about this invitation that we're creating, what you put on the back has the most vital importance. This is where I put sponsorship information. In my experience, on average, 80% of fundraising event revenue comes from sponsorships. I like clearly listing out sponsorship levels on the back so that one piece can be used both to invite people to attend and to do a sponsorship. So here's the back of the Southside Soiree Black Tie Blackjack event. And you can look a little bit about what those levels look like. You want to put a level at the top that you really feel is pie in the sky. It makes your next level down not look quite so high. For Oh Christmas Tea, I set up a $5,000 level as my top sponsor opportunity. Imagine my shock when someone came in at that Hope Diamond level. So don't cut yourself short. You never know what you might be able to get. The most important thing I want you to catch here is that there are levels between each of these sponsorships, and they each come with deliverables. The mistake that many nonprofits make when they're preparing a fundraising event is to think only of their mission. People really should want to help us because of the amazing work that we do. And you can tell yourself that. And it's true to some point. People will buy into what you're doing. But I never want you to confuse your mission for marketing. A business is looking for a marketing edge with their business dollars. In the US, marketing expenses are 100% tax deductible, whereas nonprofit giving is only partly deductible. So give businesses marketing reasons to participate in your fundraiser. In church, we say that when giving, the right hand shouldn't know what the left is doing. In business, the right hand should be writing a press release while the left hand is giving. You can see on this invite for the Southern Conservation Trust event that I did, that their sponsorships have levels. So many tickets, so much publicity comes with the higher levels. Facebook publicity is one really inexpensive thing you can give away to businesses. Including their name in a press release is another. Giving them access to your attendees through a swag bag. And offer top sponsors only the opportunity to speak to your attendees. You'll want to include graduated ticket numbers with each sponsorship. Maybe the top couple of sponsors get a whole reserved table. Now, here's a key. It is absolutely key to have a volunteer call all the sponsors about 2 weeks out to make sure there are names for all of the seats that are reserved. Because food cost is usually the highest expense for a gala. We don't want to pay for food for people who aren't coming. So this moves me right into people. I can't recommend highly enough that you form a committee of dedicated volunteers. If you do like some of us do, and you just put the word out that you're looking for volunteers, and you send an email or you put it on Facebook, you're really not likely to get a lot of response. So instead, recruit. People like to be asked personally to assist as a volunteer. And this principle goes double for sponsorships. Your best sponsorships will come out of relationships that you and your committee already have. The places where you shop, the service professionals that you utilize, your financial advisor, your insurance agent, a realtor you know, your kid's orthodontist. If your committee members own businesses, then their clients and vendors are another great place to start. Cold calling on businesses to give sponsorships is much harder than leveraging existing relationships. Consider where you network with people so that your calls won't be cold. The local Chamber of Commerce, civic organizations, and churches. To get first-time sponsors to an event, I recommend personalized phone calls, lunch, and coffee appointments. The more in-person and personalized, the better. A blanket email will not produce results if that's all you do. The same way you personally recruit volunteers, you also personally recruit sponsors. The other personalized thing you can do is to make sure that you send your paper invitations by post. If you're doing that 5x7 card invite, an A7 envelope is what you need. Here's an example of how I print one of those. Now, this is one of my business clients, but it's the same kind of invite, and I typically will stick something like "You're invited" on the front. And to increase the likelihood that it'll be opened, have a volunteer hand address them and stamp them. Now, if your mailing list is over about 250 to 500, you can have a mail house like the one that I use send them via bulk mail to save on serious money on postage. Now, what difference does it make to have paper invites that are actually mailed? Most of my clients are small businesses. 2 of my medical practice clients held similar events. The first one, a Pilates and physical therapy practice, was having an app launch party. And she really didn't want to go to the expense of mailing to all her clients. So she just promoted by social media and she handed out invites at the studio. At her party, she probably only had 15 to 20 people show up. I want to contrast that with my client Ageless Wellness, a medical aesthetics and functional medicine practice. They had a VIP event where they invited only a select number of clients via post. They also called each of those clients to confirm and re-invite verbally. They maxed out their VIP event with 50 people. In fact, it worked so well that they followed a similar template for their anniversary party, only they invited all of their clients via post with email reminders. And at that event, they had over 120 clients and community supporters come to that party. At both of their events, they sold specials, and they actually wound up making money on the event. At that VIP event, they made over $30,000. It was tremendous. Paper invitations sent through the mail, that is powerful, powerful stuff. But I want to talk to you a bit, like if you're thinking, I'm just going to send some paper invitations and that's going to work so great for me. Listen, paper invitations, but personalized connection with people. A lot of folks in the nonprofit community, they think, I'm not really in sales, I'm in nonprofit, I don't need to sell. But when you're selling tickets and you're selling sponsorship, I got news for you, you're in sales. And the key for sales is 5 to 12 contacts. You can't give up. Now, the good news is if it's a gala, people will want to go because you're going to give them an experience. You're going to have them enjoy something. And so people will sign up based on that. But you don't want to neglect the fact that it's a sale and you have to make multiple contacts to be effective. So, another way to supercharge business giving is to partner with an organization that's full of business owners for your event. There are Rotary, Kiwanis, and networking groups across the country who may want to raise their profile by partnering with your organization. Having your event co-owned by a civic group gives you instant volunteers and a solid base of support. You and I, we're better together. The way that we grow and improve our nonprofits is by utilizing the best practices we can find and emulating those. If you've enjoyed this information, you can sign up for my newsletter at dirtoneox.com/nonprofit. I'll send you an infographic about how sales works, so helpful when you're figuring out how to develop relationships with these large donors. And I'll also offer you an opportunity to book a free consultation in my schedule to talk about whether hiring Dirt 1X for your event's branding makes sense for you. The good news is that once you've done a good gala, you can build on your successes and each year make more and more money to succeed in your mission. So here's another success tip. When you go to increase sponsors and they're giving from one year to the next, call it an upgrade. Suggest, would you like to upgrade your sponsorship from silver to gold this year? I've successfully built silver level sponsors gradually into diamond level sponsors using that tactic. And again, remember to visit dirt1x.com/nonprofit. I hope that your next gala is a good gala, that you further your mission, and that you make a huge impact in your community and in our world. Thanks.